Hey, eighth graders, Catlin here with your help for your assignment for this week, your cool downs. We're on lesson 10, and I'm giving you 3 sets of ordered pairs, and you got to find the slope of the line that goes through those. So, finding the slope from ordered pairs, we talked about today, there's a way to set that up. You can find the slope by finding the difference in the y values. Y2 minus y1. Undo that. Over top of x2 minus x1, the difference of your x values. So when you're looking at ordered pairs, you need to remember that the first one is your x and the second one is your y. So these are my x and y of my first ordered pair, so x1, y1. And these are my x and y for my second ordered pair, so x2 and y2. So if we're going to use this little setup formula, we can just simply do 2, which is my y2, minus 5, which is my y1. So I subtract my y's, 2 minus 5. And I would subtract my x's. x2 is 8 and x1 is 0. So 8 minus 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And 8 minus nothing is 8. So my slope is simply negative 3/8 for the first problem. Okay. So we're setting up essentially just a ratio of two differences. The difference in your y heights and your x lengths should tell you how big your slope triangle is. And we did that when we were doing slope triangles anyway. So it's really the same thing, just without the picture. So if you're visual, this is probably a little harder for you. But if you want to kind of skip the visual and do it faster, you're probably digging how we're doing this. So let's look at number 2 here. X, Y, X, Y. We always start on the right and we kind of connect it to the one that it goes with on the right, on the left. So Y2 is 1, Y1 is negative 1. So we're going to do 1 minus negative 1 for our first pair. And then our second pair is going to match up the X's, which is 6 and 2. So we're going to set that over top of 6 minus 2. So this is going to turn into 1 minus negative 1, which if we add the opposite, like we learned in 7th grade, this is really just going to be 2, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So our slope is a half. So my slope for that one is 1/2. And then the very last one, okay, negative 5, y, the second y, minus the first y. These go together. They're both in the y spot. Negative 5 minus a negative 2 over top of negative 1 minus a negative 3. So we got a lot of minuses of negatives in that last example, which makes it a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add my opposites to make that plus a positive 2, and add my opposites to make this plus a positive 3. Okay, negative 5 add 2 gives me a difference of, or gives me a sum of, negative 3. And negative 1 plus 3 takes me up to positive 2. So my slope for this one is simply negative 3/2. Or you might have had negative 1.5. It's all the same thing. Okay. And there's your help for your cool down. Subtract those y values, subtract those x values, set it up as a ratio, reduce it if need be. And that's how you find slope when you have a pair of ordered pairs like this. See you guys.